my gosh. Firstly, why has it been so long since I've sat here and done this? Wait, actually, I can answer that myself. We have a full house at the moment. We have a new housemate, so there's like 4 adults in the house now. Obviously, we have Artie, our little bubba, and it's just been a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna turn this because I feel like the lighting was great, and then the second that I pressed record, well, you know, just kind of wanted to stop, so let's go this way. That's better. So yeah, I totally haven't sat here and updated you all on purpose for the last 4 or 5 weeks, but it's just been a little bit crazy. Why is today any different? Well, let me tell you, it's Good Friday. Happy Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter. I have someone I'd like you to meet. We got another baby. We didn't have another baby. This is Denzel. Say hi, friends. He doesn't like me that much. He does, but I'm the only girl in the house, and I think the boys have just like taken over him. Say hello. So Denzel was dumped at a pet rescue in Kalamunda where Jake's little sister works, and she knew how badly we've been wanting to rescue a cat. Yeah, we saved your life. You should be eternally grateful. Don't boot me. Don't do it. Anyway, he's the cutest little thing. He like totally loves living. We just let him have free meal of the house. He sleeps with Jack at night in his room. He loves Artie. They're like best friends. It's so cute. And he's like so big now. Isn't he just cute? It's all about you, boo. Take it away. Meow. Okay, I'll let you go. Bye. So anyway, as you can see, full house. I want to keep this one really short so I can kind of get it posted up today. I've been missing vlogging so much, but like I said, I'm back at work. So many things have changed. So I'm going to quickly do a bang, bang, bang update, and then we'll talk about what's going on right now for me. So I'm pretty sure, actually I need to check just quickly. The last video that I posted was 4 weeks ago, and it was, 5 weeks ago, probably a little bit more. And it was my week 2 and 3 post-op update where I was readmitted to hospital, and I kind of filled you in on all of that. So week 4, 5, and 6 was the last weeks of my like recovery, because 6 weeks onwards is kind of like you're just new life post-op. So I didn't have too many complications. I was like eating everything that I was supposed to eat, you know, just making sure I was focusing on my protein, getting up there. My biggest thing was water, and I know a lot of you that are on the same journey have had the same issue, is trying to get that water intake up. That was probably the hardest thing over that last few weeks. We did go to Albany on our trip, and I didn't vlog. I'm really sorry, but I left my camera at home. I'm an idiot, and I didn't want to do it on my phone and have the same issue I had in the last video where I filmed some things on my phone and then couldn't update them in my video. I don't know why my phone's being crap at the moment, but anyway. So the trip went really well. From a mum's perspective, Arthur was amazing. It was like he slept in the little single bed next to us with like pillows barriered up, and he had so much room. He slept in there all night by himself. He was so good in the car on the way there and on the way back. My eating wise, I had like lots of normal things. I found I was still going for soft things, but that's just because I feel like I was just such in a habit of it. But yeah, I updated on my stories on my VSG page as I went of like the things that I was eating. I did find that a lot of places down there didn't have a kids menu, which made it really hard. So then I'd order off like the entree menu, but then same thing. Servings were just still too big, so I was still wasting a lot of food, and especially because we were away, like we had a little fridge in our motel, but it wasn't enough. So anyway, the trip went really well though. I had lots of coffees, same thing, just kept my fluids up. I didn't struggle, and I was only like just going on 5 into my 6th week then, so I was like my first week on solids. I just took it really easy. I just listened to how I was feeling. My restriction still like was crazy, and it still is, but it's definitely like a little bit better now. Like I guess it's the healing part of it. So yeah, the whole trip was really, really good. We came back, and then 2 weeks later I went back to work, so that was a new pile of navigation in itself. I just realized I have 12 new subscribers since I last posted a video, so hello and welcome. I'm Hayley, obviously from Hayley's Adventures. Anyway, let's keep going and we'll meet more later. Yeah, so I went back to work. I took on a new role. So I'm a facility coordinator for my oil and gas company, and it has been hectic. Like, I used to do 8 to 10 hour days before, not really including when I was pregnant, but like still when I was pregnant as well. And because of where my office was and the areas that I looked after, I did like maybe 4,500 to 5,000 steps a day on a really big day when I was up and down. But that's because everything was so close. This new facility is 6 times the size of where we used to be. And my office is right at the front, and there's 2 lots of stairs to get up. So it doesn't matter what you do, you have to go upstairs to get up there. So that was like a really good NSV non-scale victory for me. It was walking up and down the stairs every day, sometimes 10 times a day, and not dying. Like, it was just amazing. I think if I was at work as heavy as I was before I had surgery and having to do what I'm doing now and running around all day, it's ridiculous. So anyway, I average at least between 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day on the days that I work. And that's mostly just from being at work. So, you know, if I've got visitors in for site inspections, you know, I could do 4 of those a day, and the place is huge. So you're just doing laps and laps and laps. You know, I could be fixing things in another office down the back or in the workshop. So lots of walking around. So that's really good. So I try not to, now that I'm back at the gym, train on the days that I've worked, because I'm still not consuming near enough calories for my body to work all day and exercise and obviously still have the energy. And I don't want to, you know, vomit or throw up or feel faint and, you know, dizzy and whatnot at work. So I'm just watching my cat attacking a fly. It's great. Get him. Oh, he's too high now. Anyway, squirrel. So yeah, it's been great navigating being back at work. Still really trying to get my fluids up during those days. I do find I drink a lot more on those days and the days that I go to the gym. I bought a B-box lunchbox, and I have just been like packing little things in there. My food prep has now stepped up to another level, so I constantly always have little meals to go to. I have been talking to a lot of you on Instagram. You know, I try and post a lot of that sort of stuff because that's the sort of thing that people want to know, is what are you eating, how much are you eating, how frequently. So I always post the meal that I've made and the macros. Now, my food prep has changed. I used to prep a lot of stuff. Like, say, as an example, like I prep a kilo of meat with veggies and all that for whatever I was making, as where now I do 500 grams of protein with like whatever veggies, or, you know, say if I'm doing like a curry or something. So I do 500 grams of protein, you know, whatever. And I try and split that up into no less than maybe 6 to 8 meals, because depends. Like, I have certain containers that I use that are about this big, by about that deep, and I do a deconstructed shepherd's pie. The reason I do it deconstructed is because I like to thoroughly macro count. So if I'm making it with all the ingredients that I put into my tracker in one big tray, I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to get the exact amount of protein and carbs in that feed for that day. So if I have 2 containers that have got less mince and veggies and more potato in it, because, you know, when you scrape it out of a baking dish, it doesn't exactly get that proper mix. You know, I try and average everything over the week anyway. So if I eat less one day, I know I need to eat more the next day, which is normally a training day. But I like to make sure if I'm eating, you know, this thing 2 or 3 times a day, I'm hitting my protein goals for starters. So that's what I've been doing. If you want to know more about that, leave it in the comments below, and I will obviously I need to add them to my little, what do you call them, highlights on my Instagram. I keep forgetting about that. Also, if you're new here, I talk with my hands a lot. I'm Italian. It is what it is. But yeah, so I haven't really had too many things I'm struggling with, and I don't want to sit here and be like, my recovery has been flawless. If you watch the videos before this, you'll see it was not flawless. But right now I can go out for coffee, I can go out for breakfast. I don't like doing it because I waste a lot of stuff. So I try and pick coffee dates as opposed to breakfast dates. I guess the good thing about being at work is, like, say if I do a chicken curry in the slow cooker and I do a kilo of protein, because Jake will have some as well, I divvy it out into the exact same amount of portions. So I will use bigger containers, but I might eat that in 2 or 3 goes. So I'll take that to work and I'll eat that 2 or 3 times over the day, and I'll still just track it as 1 meal, because I've eaten that in the day, so it doesn't really matter. I know the divvied up portions, how many calories and protein and carbs and stuff are in that. So I just know that if I eat that container over the day, I've hit whatever I've needed to hit. It just doesn't matter if I've eaten it in 2, 3 or 4 goes. I am having a little bit more carbs on my training days because obviously I need that energy to be able to train. Today I really should be eating right now because I've got home from the gym. I had my iced almond latte on the way home. So yeah, it's really just a matter of the point that I'm at now. I am going to be 11 weeks post-op this Tuesday coming, which is amazing. So I have my 3-week checkup, I think the 2nd week of May, just because he was going to be out of the country. So by the time he gets back and starts taking clients, that was just the next time I could see him. So I think I'll be 3.5 months post-op by the time I see my surgeon again. But yeah, like other than that, everything is going extremely well. So fast forward to now, I am almost 3 months post-op. Like I said to someone the other day, I feel like my life is back on track. It's back to normal, other than the fact that I can only eat this much. So I find that a lot of the questions I get on Instagram, and this isn't one of those like, so many people DM me and like blah, blah, blah. This is genuinely like, if you're watching this, you're probably one of the people that's messaged me. People always say, how are you consuming so many calories? How are you keeping your protein up? Like literally, how did you get the drive to make sure that you are eating and drinking what you need to be drinking? Now, like I said, I'm still not perfect. Some days I'm like, oh, I have not eaten enough today. So sometimes I'm still eating until like 9 o'clock at night just to get those little bit more calories in. And I notice the difference because if I step on the scales the next day, so this morning, for instance, I am like just at the end of my fertility window. So I've you know, gone through ovulation and whatnot. So I'm probably a bit more bloated on the scales than normal. I did not drink enough water yesterday. And the reason for that was because I was out. I left my drink bowl at home for the first day since I've had surgery. And I think I bought a iced latte with almond milk when I was out, and I sipped on that like the whole day, and it was so bad. I should have just bought a bottle of water, but every time I had the opportunity, I just wasn't thinking about it. So this morning I've woken up, I didn't eat enough yesterday. I didn't drink like more than maybe a glass of water. So I had a gain on the scales. Don't care, couldn't give a crap. I know where I am in my cycle because I track everything, but I do not let it override me. So one of my close friends that I've met through this journey, we had a really big chat this week, and she didn't ask for it, but she put a post up and said about how she's been feeling. And I was kind of worried for her because I was like, there's just so much more to life than having to worry about everything. Now, a lot of the people have said like, don't you feel consumed because you track everything to a T and you do this and you do that? And I'm like, no, because I am so organized that I spend maybe one day or like a half a day on my weekend food prepping. I have all the things in the fridge that I need for the week. And so I don't have to sit there every day and go, oh, I've got to eat this. Now, what if I eat this? Like, can I do this? I try and keep things the same because it works for me. So I'm not saying that's what you need to do. But if you eat like the perfect day and you think, you know what, that actually went really well and I could eat those foods at least Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends I can kind of freely track a little bit more, then do it. I eat now from this week just gone because I spent last week, like sat down, went back to the drawing board and was like, how can I make this work for me? So this week I had the same thing for breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea and dinner every single day. And then if I had a few more calories to like teeter with, I had other bits and pieces. You know, like I made banana bread one day and we had a friend over, so I had a piece of banana bread as well. But the more calories I eat, I'm like, yep, that's great. As where before it was like, oh no, I went over my calories. As where now I'm like, I need to eat more. So I'm comfortably averaging 1100 to 1200 calories a day, minimum of 65 to 70 grams of protein, but I'm eating at least 80 to 90 grams of protein. So again, I don't want a million questions out of this going, how are you doing that? Like I said, you need to sit down, you need to really learn how to track your macros. The little bit of effort that you put in to learn it, it might take you a good week or so of consistency to understand it all, and I'm happy to do a video on it, touch base on it, whatever people want, you need to let me know because I'm not gonna do it if no one wants to see it. But once you've learnt it and you've got it in the back of your head, then like I said, it's a matter of spending one day on the weekend. You'll sit down on a Saturday morning, have your breakfast, have your coffee, and write out a list of, okay, what 2 meals do I want to food prep this weekend that are going to give me 6 to 8 portions of each? So that's like 2 or 3 times a day this week I can eat that. That makes up the majority of your calories, and then you'll go and add in like a small breakfast meal, a couple of little snacks, you know, your coffees, whatever. If you're still having full cream, then obviously that's more calories, so you need to factor that in. It really does take a little bit of preparation, and like I said, you need to sit and you need to plan. So I'll sit there with my Fitness Pal, you know, and I'll go, oh cool, I want to do a deconstructed shepherd's pie. So I'll go, protein is the main part that I need to worry about in there, so I'll do that. Then I go, cool, I want to have some carbs, so I want to use potatoes, but changing things out, like Spud Light potatoes are amazing. They're low carb potatoes. Like, why wouldn't you use those? So little things like that. I think the biggest thing, like I was saying to my friend that I was talking to, was you need to stop living life a different way. Like all you really need to focus on is the food part of your life, which takes up such a small part of your day. So wake up, go for a walk because you want to, not because you've had surgery. Drink water because you need to, not because you've had surgery. Eat food because you need to, not because you've had surgery. I feel like it can get consuming because we spend so much time saving up for this surgery, having the surgery, going through the recovery and the eating phases and whatnot, that it does. You get to a point where you're just like, my whole life revolves around surgery right now. So I don't know, how did I shake myself out of that? I think once I was going back to work, I just knew if I'm not organized and I don't have food ready to go that I can just grab and eat, then it's not going to work. I can't just, you know, like the other day, I made up my little snack lunch box and then I took out a container of curry out the freezer and I sat it next to it. But I was in such a rush that morning trying to, you know, like Arthur didn't wake up when I woke up. So I ran around and did everything. And then by the time I went to grab the lunch boxes and put them in our bags, I left that little container of curry in there. And I just said to my husband during the day, like, someone like me can't just go to a lunch bar and go and buy lunch, because if I buy a sandwich, I'm only going to have 2 or 3 bites out of it, so it's a waste. I don't want like deep fried food. I don't want to buy hot chips or anything like that. And I don't want to get a salad because that's not fulfilling for me right now. Like, I need something, which is why I made all these meals. And it was just such a rookie mistake. So I ended up going and getting 2 like sweet chili chicken tenderloins, and I had the little sour cream containers in my lunchbox to go with my curry. So I did that. I dipped them in the sour cream and I ate it, and I tracked it, and I was going to the gym that day. So yes, it was slightly higher calories, but it was mainly protein based, and it had a little bit of carbs from the crumbing on the outside, fat from obviously the oil that it was fried in. And then I had my sour cream as well. So not the thing I would have gone for, but I just got something basic rather than just getting like hot chips or something. So yeah, you can't just nip to the lunch bar and grab things, is what I'm trying to say. So you have to be prepared. So yeah, a day of eating, what does it look like? Let me open my Fitness Pal and tell you. Monday I ate 1,166 calories. And out of that, I had 86 grams of protein, 83 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. Now, fat and carbs, like, I don't know. I think a lot of the questions I get is, what is the perfect split for us post bariatric surgery? And I'm like, well, your dietitian needs to work with you on that. But this is what works for me. Like I said, the days that I work and the days that I go to the gym, I need to have slightly more carbs because I need that energy, because I am running around a lot and I'm not consuming 2,000 or 3,000 calories a day now like I was before. So as my weight's coming down, like, yeah, that's what I'm eating is going to work better for me. But right now I'm still in a very high weight loss phase. So going to the gym is taking energy away from that. So I need to be, you know, energy in versus energy out. It's a whole vibe. So anyway, that was my split for the day, and it was like pretty perfect. I guess it was like 31% protein, 40% fat, 29% carbs. So I'm actually really comfortable with how that was. So this is what it looks like on my Fitness Pal. Okay, so you can see it has my goal percentages. So obviously I've got protein at 35, fat at 45, carbs at 20. And then it tells you here how much you actually ate in grams, which I like to go by grams anyway. So that was my actual macros. As far as the food goes, so one of my favorite things to eat, get a pen and paper, because like you can write these down. Obviously you can go back and watch it, so that'll work. You can get, it's a brand called Red Tractor Foods from Woolworths. They do protein oats. So it's like oats with like soy protein mixed through it. So it's not super high in protein, but it is a lot higher than normal. So I will have 20 grams of protein oats, a scoop of the tasteless collagen protein, 100 grams or 100 mils of barista almond milk, and then like a handful of blueberries, so about 30 grams of blueberries, and then I have the Queen's sugar-free maple syrup. Get onto it. It's one of those staples that you need to have. I'm going to chat after this about some things that I've swapped out that I keep in my house that are necessities, and we'll go through that in a second. So I put the oats, the protein powder in a bowl, mix it together so that like the tasteless protein, you know, blends into the oats. Pour my almond milk in, give it a bit of a stir to blend it all together, drop the blueberries in, and then I heat it up in 30-second increments, because you don't want it to go gluggy and dry and gross. No one needs to eat oats like that. No one likes to eat sludgy, dried, gross oats. You have the time, it only takes a minute and a half, just do it in increments, do what you need to do. So anyway, do that, and over the 30-second increments, like, you know, 30 seconds, give it a stir, another 30 seconds, give it a stir. Then you might only need like 10 or 15 seconds, but the blueberries start to blister and like pop open, and it's just like, it all mixes together and it's just creamy goodness. And then I put about 10 mils of Queen's maple syrup on top, the sugar-free one. So that there is 19 grams of protein, 16 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fat, 190 calories in total, the perfect start to your day. That is literally what you need. The Gippsland dairy like mix-in yogurts, I'm not a huge yogurt fan, but on this particular day I did manage to eat one of those. I think I left about a third of the yogurt, but anyway, having the crunchy bits in there was a little bit nicer for me, and I didn't shit myself, so I guess that's saying something. So the same thing again, it was like, obviously being yogurt, there's a bit of protein, but it was still higher in carbs. Now my lunch, I had half of one of my chicken curry serves, and because I make saucy dishes like that I can have at least once a day with a mix-in of the tasteless protein, that's what I did. So I heat the curry up for a minute or so, add the tasteless protein, stir it through, heat it for another minute or so, and then a nice big tablespoon of sour cream on top. So my lunch was 30 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fat, 280 calories. So that was great. And then I left the other half at work for the next day. Now in the afternoon, I had something that I haven't had for ages, because I've been obviously swapping my foods out, but my mum had stayed over, so I bought like a really nice fresh loaf of white thin sliced bread. So I grabbed a slice, cut the crust off, and then I buttered it. I bought the Bertocci boneless leg ham, so the slices are like this. So I like laid it across the bread, put the slice of cheese in the middle, and then folded the ham back over it. Then I cut it in half and turned it into a little sandwich, and I had 2 little squares of goodness, which I ate very slowly on the way to the gym. So that was 245 calories, was 15.5 grams of protein and 20 grams of carbs. So a really good pre-gym snack. So you can see I'm really focusing my protein in my things. I don't care how much carbs I have. I don't care how much fat I have. As long as I'm hitting my protein, I know that that is my most important thing. I don't overthink sugars. I don't overthink sodium. We just can't physically eat enough at the moment that I feel like if you're just eating chocolate and potato crisps and choc milk and all that rest of it, then yeah, like you probably still do have a problem and you haven't really learnt anything. So you do need to be changing it. But you can see I'm eating lots of wholesome meals. I'm really making an effort to construct things that taste good. That's my biggest thing. Make things that you like. Do a slow cooker curry, make a pasta bolognese, just swap it out for lentil pasta or the pulse pasta. There's so many things that you can change so you can still eat the foods that you're eating. Like eat normal pasta. It's just not gonna sit that well. Like you might get 3 or 4 noodles in and a little bit more of the mince in your bolognese, but if you eat the lighter pastas, you can still get a little bit more of that. And obviously as you go and your restriction kind of eases up as you heal, you're still only gonna be eating like a quarter of the portion you would have before, but you're making a better choice. So, you know, your body's gonna be enjoying it a little bit more. So that was that. And then for dinner, I had my little serving of my shepherd's pie with sugar-free barbecue sauce on top. So again, everything had other than the yogurt, a minimum of 15 grams of protein in it. So if you're going for 60 grams of protein a day because you're still on that earlier end post-surgery, if you eat 4 of your meals a day with at least 15 grams in it, that's your 60 grams there. And then anything extra that you have on top of it will have some sort of protein. Yeah, so that was probably one of my favorite days. The Rockabilly's protein smoothies as well, the honeycomb flavor, are my favorite. I only have half at a time. Same thing again, I've gone through this before and on my Instagram. When you are reading a food label, you want to be looking at the per 100 grams or per 100 mils serving size, and your sugars should be no more than 6 to 7 grams per 100. The reason for that is because it's over a whole. So the smoothie bottles are, how much are they? 450 mils, and that's one serving. And in that 450 mils, there's 30 grams of protein, 6 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbs, and only like 20 grams of sugar. So the carbs is pretty much the sugar. But over a whole, it's only like 5 or 6 grams of sugar per 100. So it's actually not that bad. The biggest question I keep getting is around sugar. And I'm just like, if you are changing a lot of your staples, your sugar intake won't be as high. Don't stress about it. It goes into your carbs anyway. So look at it like that. If your carbs are through the roof and you can't get your protein up, that's when you're having a problem. So you really need to start changing it. So got 4 minutes left. Some of my favorite products that I have swapped out, and I'm going to pause it here and go and grab some so I can show you. Okay, so first ones I'm going to touch on, bread and milk, because they're staples in your house, especially if you have kids. Now, kids are pretty like adaptive. So if you start changing things out, like, I don't know, tell a white lie, say that you can't buy normal bread anymore. Who cares? They're kids, they'll believe whatever you say. I don't know if that was a really bad parenting tip. I'm not trying to give parenting tips. I'm just trying to say. So what we have swapped to is, instead of buying bread now, and this is like, instead of like burger rolls or like bread for toast or bread for toasted sandwiches or whatever, we now live on Tip Top sandwich thins. Now, I always try and buy the wholemeal ones, but they didn't have them this time around. It's kind of get what you can get at the moment. So if you have like one of these, it obviously divides into 2 slices. If I'm making a little sandwich for pre-gym, I divide it into 2 slices, but I only use one of the slices folded up because I can only really eat half of one. If we're having burger night, same thing. I cut my burger patty in half. I put like 1 slice of this, so I cut it in half again and I make like a half-size sandwich, and then I eat the rest of the patty by itself. Sometimes I just use lettuce. I don't even bother about these. But if I really feel like I want some sort of bread or some toast, that's what we go for. So that's those. Milk. Now, we are an alternative milk household anyway because we're all lactose intolerant. We still eat ice cream, we still have cheese, we're not that bad. We probably just don't take it that seriously, but anyway. So nut milks are a really great alternative. We have mainly barista almond milk, and we've been trying oat milk as well. So they're both fine. Obviously oat milk is slightly higher in calories, but either way, still less than full cream milk. So anyway, that's what we love. Now, condiments. 2 of our main things in this house: barbecue sauce and maple syrup. Now, because we are a gym household, the boys like to do like protein oats after dinner if they're still hungry, you know, so they'll do yogurt, protein oats, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and some maple syrup. So again, we try and get products that are a little bit more calorie friendly. I love barbecue sauce on everything. I'm one of those people. So this one, Master Foods barbecue, and you can see the blue label is the important part. So it says reduced salt and sugar. So again, over a total spectrum, it's still per 100 mils, 29 grams of sugar. But this is one of those things where, like, unless you're having a lot of it, like per serve, a serving size is 15 mils. And out of that 15 mils, 4.5 grams of that is sugar. But 15 mils of sauce is actually a lot. Like, I have like a little, I call it this, oh, that's my thing. So I only have about 7 or 8 grams of this at a time. And I think like I'm only eating it once or twice a day. There could be worse things that I'm eating, but this is one of my little guilty pleasures because it helps me to enjoy food a little bit more. Especially because I'm like not a vegetarian, I still eat meat, but there's times where like leftovers reheated are just can't deal with. So sauce helps me mask that up. So again, you can still have stuff like this, just find a better alternative. This is the maple syrup. In the toppings section, you won't find it near the spreads and the other maple syrup and the honey. Sorry, it will be with the other maple syrup, but not with the honey like I thought it was. So it's where like the ice magic and all the chocolate toppings and stuff are. So this is, I don't know, basically all it is sorbitol and salt. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. It tastes more like honey than anything. But anyway, so it says 1 serving size is 35 mils and that's only 20 calories. But like I use 10 mils of this and I feel like that's a lot. So if you're using more than that, then I mean, you can see it's a lot more liquidy, has a little push top, so it's really easy to use. But yeah, we buy like 2 or 3 bottles of this and keep it in the cupboard because we all use it. Same as our cordial. We don't like Diet Right. We're not a Diet Right household. It tastes like junk. It's an unpopular opinion. You do you, whatever you like. So we go for the no sugar added cotties and it's so friggin' good. Like we literally just love it. Actually, I just realized I totally bought the wrong one. I know, there's literally still nothing in it. So you can get the 0 sugar Cotties cordial, which is the one that we normally buy. But at the moment, if you know, it's a struggle to buy any of this. So anyway, this is the no sugar added one. And in 1 serve, which is 32, no, says 250 mils, but I think that's a cup in general. I mean, I have like a splash to just change the taste of my water. And even then it's only on the days where I haven't drunken enough. I'll put a little bit in just to kind of help with that. So no sugar cordials are great. Pasta, we use red lentil pulse pasta. Now, gluten-free, good source of protein. Like if you have 1 full serve, there's almost 30 grams of protein in it. But let's be honest, we can't eat 30 grams of whatever the serving size is. So it says in this box says 2, I would probably get like 10 out of that. But anyway, at least being high in protein, you're still gonna get a little protein hit out of it rather than it bumping your carbs up so high. So anyway, again, another really great alternative. As far as snacks go, I like to have like a little carbohydrate-y snack in my lunchbox, either to nibble on the way home because I still have big afternoons to get through, whether that includes going to the gym or picking Artie up, coming home, going for a walk, doing bath time, bedtime, all the rest of it. So these little Fiber One bars, the 90 calorie ones, are a lifesaver. This is birthday cake flavor. I love this and I love the lemon drizzle one. They're 2 of my favorites. And then these are a bit expensive, but if you buy them when they're on special, it's not so bad. These are from the no sugar range from Woolies. The little LCM snackle bars. This has got unicorn sprinkles on it. These are like my favorite again. So sometimes I even just like have half of that whilst I'm at work, then eat the rest on the way home. But yeah, stuff like that. Potatoes, because some people have no idea what I'm saying when I say it sometimes. This is what you want to look for. Spud Light potatoes, so 25% less carbs. Yeah, I don't know, you just don't feel so bad for eating it. Potatoes are really good, it's vegetables, it's fiber. If you leave the skins on, it's really good. These are really good for like mashing, roasting, whatever. We turn them into chips. So yeah, we kind of like live on those. We use them in curries and everything and they taste great. So yeah, so anyway, carbohydrate replacements, juice or like cool drink replacements, condiment replacements, and snacky replacements, and then obviously your bread being your sandwich thins. So hopefully that's helpful. I've given a lot of people a little advice on these few things that I use and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. In my head, I'm just like, can't have bread, can't have pasta. Instead, make changes. Make it work for you. If you want to freaking have it, have it. If you don't want to have it, don't worry about it. If you are one of those people that doesn't like change, so you'd rather just not have it than try new things, that's totally fine. Like everyone is like that. I kept whinging at my cousin for years going, I don't like nut milk. I just don't drink coffee because I don't like it black, blah, blah, blah. And then one day she just got me a coffee with almond milk in it and didn't say anything. And I drank it and was like, this is such a good coffee. And she was like, haha, pranked ya. Now all I have is almond milk. Have done for like almost, I don't know, maybe eight or 9 years now. So anyway, that's what we've been up to. I have a coach at the gym. I joined Revo Fitness. So if you're in Perth, you'll know what that is. I'm assuming they're like worldwide. Funnily enough, my PT is actually a girl I went to school with in high school 10 years ago. And we didn't even realize until we started talking, and then she sent me a voice clip and I'd said that she looked familiar. The second I heard her voice, I was like, I know who you are. So anyway, I'm training under Chrissy Barcock from Revo Fitness in Banksia Grove. I train at all the different gyms because it just depends on the day and what area I'm in, and if someone's got RD, because they don't have a creche, which is the only annoying thing, but their gyms are they're just such a vibe and I love them so much. So fits my style of training. At the moment, I've committed to 3 training days, doing full body each day, but it's not like 100 different exercises, all isolation. We focus on big compound movements. I just put a little TikTok and a reel up today. You know, had a little mum-free morning, no, a baby-free morning. So I went and got coffee and I went and trained, and it was just such a vibe. And the day is so beautiful today. The boys have taken Artie in the pram for a little walk to go and get themselves a coffee. And I figured, you know what, let's get the camera out, let's film, let's patch that gap up. So again, I apologize for being such a mute for the last few weeks, but as you can see, there has been a lot going on. New housemate, new cat. I hate calling him a housemate, he's just like a brother. But anyway, our friend moved here from New Zealand and the accommodation he had organised kind of fell through. And you know, with COVID at the moment, if you know, you know, you just can't find a place. So we had a spare room, we invited him to come stay with us for a while, and he just literally fits our dynamic. I don't think we all realised at the beginning that he obviously goes to the gym as well. He's into his macro counting and stuff, like, you know, he food preps every weekend. So I think it's more beneficial for him that he's just like slid into our family and he just fits really well. I love helping the boys with their food prep, so that's been fun for me. But yeah, we're all just having a really good time. So completely surrounded by men, it's great. It's actually really not. Nah, it is. I love it. I have so much fun. We couldn't even get a girl cat if we tried. We had to get a boy. So, you know, just surrounded by males. It's great. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I've loved sitting here having a chat with you guys. I've honestly missed you so much. So if you are about to have surgery and you're watching these, like, please, please, please trust me when I tell you that once you get past that 5 or 6 week point, like, life goes back to normal. No, you can't sit there and eat as much as you used to, but you had this surgery for a reason. You didn't have this surgery just to lose weight. You had this surgery to change your habits. They gave you a tool to get through the rest of your life. And for someone that used to overeat every single meal that I ate, I am just enjoying life now. I don't have to stress anymore or feel embarrassed when I go out because I'm eating more than everyone else. Like, it is weird that I can't eat as much as I used to, but I'm so okay with that now. And like I said, you need to just get up and start living every day like it was before, just that you have a better outlook on life now. You're going to weigh less, you're going to feel a lot better in yourself, you're going to feel fitter mentally and physically. So use your food as your fuel for the day, you know. And like I said, don't think of everything as just because I've had surgery. Don't let it consume you, and you will be okay. I promise you that. If you need anything, I'm right here. Message me, reach out on Instagram, whatever. I am here for you. You will get there. If you are catching up to me in your recovery, you did it, you made it, you've been through the hardest part of it. Just start looking forward now. Enjoy your life. Enjoy this new aspect that you've been given. Just honestly, go forth and slay. I'm going to leave it there. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so I know that you're here. And new people, thank you so much for joining. Anyway, I love you so much. Bye.